There's one tiny country in Europe that people call digital paradise, and it's right here. Estonia managed to digitize everything. They held the world's first general elections with internet voting available. In Estonia, you can file taxes online, vote online, access healthcare online, and even become an e-resident without actually setting your foot there.
It's much easier to tell you what are the free things we cannot yet do online. We have to show up to pick up our ID documents, get married or divorced, or sell real estate. That's pretty much it.
But the thing is, in 2007, this paradise came close to a catastrophe.
Estonia, 2007, completely offline for 2 weeks.
A series of cyber attacks began on Estonia's public authorities, banks and media.
Swaths of DDoS attacks took down major websites of political parties, first on the opposition side, then the government itself.
Cash machines and online banking services were out of action. Government employees couldn't communicate with each other. Suddenly, the media couldn't deliver the news, which just goes to show that the digital paradise can turn into a living hell in a matter of minutes. Yet the world is already on the way to e-governing. In the US, people still spend 12 hours on paperwork to pay taxes, but they're very close to replacing paper passwords with IDs on their phones. In China, multiple provinces established websites that merge public services of all government departments. Yet China is already being called the big brother of the century by the media. We can't go back now. And we shouldn't. Our own research at Surfshark shows that investments into e-infrastructure and e-government contribute to people's digital well-being the most. But we have to make sure that in the process of becoming our best digital selves, we do not sacrifice our safety and security for a little bit of convenience. Now, this whole great utopia of digital democracy comes down to 3 things: technology, trust, and transparency. Let me start with the biggest boogeyman, called technology. And the scariest of them all, artificial intelligence.
Yeah, it's scary.
For some time, businesses have been using and implementing AI for so many things that would bore us human beings to death. AI is analyzing huge amounts of data. It's providing customer support and listening to our complaints non-stop. It saves money and time. Obviously, governments want in on that sweet cash too. You know, for the economy. But to reap all the benefits, governments need to be AI ready. And as we found out, countries with the highest readiness to adopt AI technology are also ready to counter national cyber threats. So countries like the US and Singapore and the UK are not only saving money and making all the processes more convenient, but also saving us and our data. And in comes the problems. Public trust in the government has been sharply declining since the 60s. Government surveillance has been dominating the news all over the world. The phrase "the big brother" is used so often you could probably make it into a Friday drinking game with friends. I already used it twice now. Some people do not trust the government having all this data about them. Even if they did, there are some processes that might feel too important to risk it. Like voting, for example.
It was a radiant eruption of democracy.
Touchscreen machines, counting machines, and other digital devices used for digital voting can be easily tampered with. A skillful attack can mess up voting machines and then delete itself, making it impossible to prove any attack happened. And online elections are a sweet target for anyone who wants to bring chaos.
I'm an agent of chaos.
The most extreme example was in the 2014 election in Ukraine. According to this European Parliament briefing, in May 2014, prior to the Ukrainian presidential elections, a pro-Russian hacktivist group carried out a series of cyber attacks to manipulate the vote. Malware was quickly removed, but these cyber attacks are proof that online elections are a major target of cyber warfare. So e-voting might be risky. Yet there are government services that can be utopian. Flying with the birds, waking up in the morning and getting a text from your boss that you can rest for the day type of great. Let me come back to Estonia's example. There's this little principle they made up that makes their e-government system great, and it's called
Once only. It means that the state cannot ask for the same data more than once.
They introduced it in 2007, and all the ministries, police, land registrars, welfare agencies were forced to communicate and make their services more efficient. What's more is that they use this data exchange platform called
The X-Road.
I swear, I won't put you to sleep, but here's an important image. The point of these red lines and dots is that it's all decentralized. And there's no one point that all the data is saved. There's no one point that can fail when hackers attack you. So there are ways to make all of our boring dealings with old institutions more convenient and safe. And it can make us trust them more. Obviously, the state is still gathering quite a lot of information, but let's hear it from an ex-president of Estonia.
Don't worry about the government doing it directly, worry about the government doing it indirectly.
And that's the third part, transparency. In the e-Estonia system, every citizen can see a detailed log of every access to their data. People always know what the state is doing with their personal information. But there are exciting things happening not only in this tiny Baltic state, but it's happening all over the world. In Argentina, developers and activists created this amazing digital tool called Democracy OS. The idea is simple. Every new project in Congress gets immediately translated and explained in a simple language in the app, and citizens can vote how they would like for their elected representative to vote on the project. This way, politicians and citizens can communicate better. So maybe, just maybe, the internet and digital world can actually help governments rebuild the trust that was declining since the 60s. I can't tell you when that will happen, but we're definitely getting closer. And if you would like to see how close your country is to embracing technology and making your digital quality of life truly great, head to our full research. Thank you for watching, and let's see each other next week. Subscribe, just in case you miss me.